Hello, wonderful Joneses. I am going to make a video for you guys to kind of walk you through the lesson for the day tomorrow. Hopefully, this helps you guys kind of internalize as you need to and clears up anything. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a text so we can make sure we're all on the same page. So let me share my screen here. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So here's our learning objective and our DOL for the day. Students will be able to analyze how the meaning of community has evolved in modern society by examining and evaluating the claims Megan Garber makes about individualism and social media and how these ideas shape personal identity and belonging. And then given a text, students will demonstrate their understanding by outlining and analyzing the main argument and supporting claims, then explaining and writing a discussion how these ideas reveal the changed meaning of community and its impact on identity. Perfect. So here's our warm up. So this is the dictionary definition of community. And I'm asking the students to choose one that they resonate most with. They might say, Miss, what does resonate mean? Resonate means identifying with or feeling a connection to. So what definition do you can resonate with and why, right? That why is important. And then in one sentence, tell me what community means to you. So hopefully they're already able to start making those connections. So this is our do now turn and talk. I always like to do turn and talks after the do now because I want to get them like I guess warmed up talking as well. But I know that we weren't supposed to do sentence stems, but I do talking stems because I think it makes it easier for them, and I don't think it takes anything away from them when we do talking stems. We're continuing on to the mini lesson for the day. I wanted to touch on what community is in case they haven't already made those personal connections. So community is a group of people who share a connection, purpose, or identity where individuals feel seen, supported, and valued. And then it gives a list of the different types of communities that are out there because a lot of people may think small and just think their neighborhood and their school, but there's also different communities that are interest-based, cultural or family, even digital communities. I think those are growing more and more common today. And then some key vocabulary words. I don't think they'll have a lot of issues with this. I think the vocabulary is pretty straightforward. But if you want to touch on it, we do have the vocabulary over here. I think the one that they may struggle with most is cultural shift, which is a major change in how society thinks, behaves, or values something. And then, of course, collective versus individual, which is a tension between group needs and personal desires. And then it just goes over what we're going to do. And this directly ties back to the learning objective, which is exploring how the meaning of community has changed in modern society, analyze the claims and evidence from Megan Garber, the article that we are using, discussing how individualism and social media influence our sense of identity and belonging during turn-in talks, and then reflecting on what community means to us as high school students. Okay. So The very beginning of the article starts off with this very intense and I think really packed quote. So, what does community mean? The term's evolution makes a nice metaphor for the rise of American individualism and the decline of trust in American institutions. So, I have broken this down for us as part of our mini lesson. Um, and basically, what this means is the word community has changed over time, and that change shows how people in America have started to focus more on themselves instead of trusting big groups or institutions like schools, churches, and government. So I wouldn't necessarily call it an issue, but that's what we're addressing today with the students. And then another turn and talk. Again, that's a pretty packed quote, but also gives us as teachers the opportunity to stamp the learning. So the question is, do you agree that there's more focus on individual self than community nowadays? Why or why not? We've got our talking stem there. And then when the turn and talk is over, stamping the learning, just a reminder there. In this turn and talk, you're practicing the same skill you'll show in your DOL, analyzing Garber's claim and explaining what it means for how we define community today. Okay. When we're stamping the learning, at the beginning of the year, I kind of struggled with what that meant. But now I just tie whatever it is we're doing back to the LO. That's how I stamp the learning. That just made more sense to me. Okay, no number. So this is the actual like meet that we'll be annotating live with the kids. I took your feedback and the specific I got more specific with what the annotations are asking for, and it also stays consistent throughout the I do, we do, and you do. So there's that. Then after that, a quick response card question number 1. The exemplar that I have up there, it's the answer. Ask the kids not to put that as their answer, use it as a model. Tell them that if they write exactly that, it's going to be counted wrong. However you want to do that, that's your decision. Right, we're going to go over the exemplar and then another opportunity to stamp the learning, tying back their response or the exemplar response back to the LO. Multiple choice question here. I'm trying to make the multiple choice questions a little bit harder because I feel like my past few lessons, the multiple choice questions they've been comprehension questions rather than questions where they have to make any sort of applications. Okay. Partner A reads, partner B reads. Our annotation focus stays the same with the same actions. So that's the we do portion. Another turn and talk for our we do portion here. And then again, that same opportunity, another response card. So this is response card 2. That same opportunity to stamp the learning comes during this time because we're tying back the exemplar and the question back to the learning objective. Another at bat. This is the independent practice portion. Again, keeping our annotation focus the same, underlining quotes, circling unknown words, and highlighting important pieces of evidence. Another turn and talk for students. An at bat. And then this is a short constructed response. So this will be their third piece of writing for the lesson. And then tying back our exemplar to stamp learning again. Our DOL is 10 minutes. I will be sending that here shortly on a Google Doc. And I will be making a Google form for my students. If you guys need help with that, if you want to start making Google Forms for your students, it's very easy and you can actually import the grades on Canvas. Then after this, we have a worksheet that I've split up into 2 sections. So the students will go through the article, find the 3 most important claims that the author makes, and then sum it up to show us what the main argument is. Um, and then here are some questions that they have to answer, and they need to use textual evidence. I have shared with you the documents for the answers to this, and I will be sharing the DOL here shortly. So if you guys have any questions about kind of like the flow of things, just shoot me a text. All right, thanks, y'all. Bye.